good, man. Go ahead. I'm going live. Go ahead. I gotta teach. I'm teaching. Go ahead. Everybody, this is Onyx. If y'all can see him. Dude. All right, go out. Go. I gotta teach. Go. Out. Not time yet. Go. Go ahead. All right. Oh boy. Okay. I gotta deal with that. He's usually in here, so when I'm teaching on the board, I let him stay in here. So I don't think I'm like animal cruelty, nothing like that. I like my guys to be up in here with me. Okay, but let's get down to business today. We're gonna talk about something really, really powerful that I'm gonna just take a seat today, so I'm not gonna be, let's see, let me make sure I got this good. Okay, cool. Okay, let me drop it down a little bit. All right. Okay, y'all. So, y'all don't know who I am. I'm Fidel Number II. I am the founder, CEO of the Alkalign Lifestyle. And I have developed a philosophy called Orgasmic Power. Essentially, this is the power of creation that a person has, their energy flow. And the point of orgasmic power is emotional, I say capacity, developing a capacity to not be defensive, to have a better attitude of life, to have a better flow, a better energy in yourself. And that's essentially what orgasmic power actually is. It's mainly a state of coherence. And today we're going to break apart the concept of why women neglect their bodies, because this is a big thing as far as whenever you have a relationship or a household with a woman that does not take care of herself, you have a problem, a very, very big problem, because it stops calibration, coherence across all fields. A woman's body, mind first, is infinitely powerful because it breeds creation. So when they're not coherent, there is a problem with this, because the system, I talked about yesterday, how trauma gets stored inside your body as an idea. And this is gonna help you all understand why women store these ideas. And obviously I'm not a woman. I've been in relationships. I've had partners, specifically my ex-wife, who dealt with a lot of issues as far as narratives that she told herself. And I believe that your thoughts are the creation of your suffering, and they're the end of your suffering. You just have to understand what they are and why you're thinking them. And she was able to get herself cleansed. She was able to get herself cleaned up, her physiology, and it changed her life. It changed her life as far as retelling the stories that she had, because she was able to go back into the past to then change the present. So, and one of the big things that she did was she began to train herself. She began to work out. She allowed me to help her to get into the gym, but there's reasons why, and I'm gonna share with you today as to why we don't do this. So all the women who, are overweight, feel unattractive, just don't feel whole like themselves. The first element of self-love is you getting in the gym and getting yourself strong. You getting to move your body is freedom. You getting to move your body, you getting to look in the mirror and feel great about yourself. That's something that's a priceless thing. And let me tell you, because I was a man that was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. Not that I got huge and overweight. I was actually pretty much underweight. I was too weak. I couldn't take care of myself in that regard. I couldn't feel safe, So what I did was I just began to be disciplined. I began to be committed and be disciplined. And I started to realize it's not just men, it's everyone. Especially because I learned this from women. I learned this from actually from seeing women who were fit and in their mind, and it turned into fit into their body. So why do women neglect their bodies? We're just gonna get right into it. If you understand chakras, energy wheels, chakras means wheel in Sanskrit. It's a wheel of energy. All right. You have 9 of them, 7 main chakras, 9 energy wheels. Because the first 3 in your root chakra, which are at your ankles, at your knees, at your genitals, this is what keeps you grounded. You have to realize that across all 7 chakras, there's one universal truth, and your organs begin to misfire. So think about your root as your genitals, as your sacral as your intestines, your solar plexus as your gut, your stomach, your liver, your pancreas, your heart, this area here, in your heart, your lungs, the heart, actual heart valve, the throat as your thyroid. You start to look at your third eye, pineal gland, pituitary gland, third eye, and crown. These are all organs inside your bodies. They're all glands, particular glands that do a certain function and job inside of your body. So don't speak in the spiritual sense and not know what the scientific terminology of it is, because they do something. They all do something. And when these things are misfiring, you have a term that's called interoception. I mentioned it yesterday. Interoception is basically you reading the sensory feelings of how you feel at every moment in time, point in space. If you can't read your own dashboard, if you can't gauge how much energy you have, you don't have an interoceptive sensory way of knowing yourself. You don't know that self, essentially. You don't know yourself. You don't know how much gas in the tank that you got. You don't know how far you can go today. You don't know what your capacity for concentration is. There's things that you cannot do because you don't have the dashboard that's telling you just how fast you're moving, how slow you're going, how committed. It's a whole thing. Your temperature, your blood pressure, your blood sugar. These are all things that you're supposed to be able to read by sensing, by feeling. So you have what's called these mistaken goals that I mentioned yesterday. 7 mistaken goals. You'll see the first one is seeking attention. Second one is going to be controlling. Third one, revenge. Fourth one, inadequacy. Fifth one, superiority. Sixth one is going to be isolation. Then you'll have the courage to be disliked, which is the 7th. These are all actually attached to your chakras. Now, this is how this logic goes. Fear is a colon signal. So think about fear. You'll feel it in your colon. Colon is for defecation, obviously. It's for getting rid of waste materials inside your body. Guilt, how about guilt? You're going to feel that guilt, and even shame too. Guilt and shame. But guilt in a stricter sense is going to be in your pelvic signal. People who walk up top like this, they don't have any bend in their legs. That's going to be, you just look at them, you can just sense it. That's a guilt thing. Shame, diaphragm signal. You're going to have shortness of breath. You're going to have these shallow breathing. Grief, heart, lung too. Heart, lung. And shame also in the diaphragm, that's going to be in this area of the gut where you should be getting your breath from. You'll have lies. When someone's a pathological liar, lying about everything, it's a thyroid signal, vagus signal. And you have where people have these illusions. They're truly delusional. Pineal, hypothalamus signal. Then you'll have attachment, pituitary gland, cortex signal. When I talk about orgasmic power is not this sexual energy. People think about orgasm. Obviously, I get the word orgasm, sexual energy. I get it. It's a part of that. But it's not the whole thing. It's the complete restoration of your body's interoceptive truths. You can now read yourself and how you feel because you're telling the right stories. You're not making up these false narratives anymore. See, so it's a return to coherence where every chakra, every organ, every hormone, because this is the creator of how you behave, fascia line, universal law, this is how this vibrates in harmony. Okay, so when I hear women tell me, and I'm a lifestyle coach. If you don't know what I do, I'm a lifestyle coach. I detoxify people's minds and bodies because you need to cleanse your lymphatic system and lymphatic system. I also create my own herbal formulas. They're customized for every person The same formula, just the amount that someone can handle is customized. I basically clean your system up to allow the flow of energy to come through. Reprogram your subconscious mind. I help you move your body to get you back into, elite shape, tip-top shape. And I get you to see the world differently from an expansive view, from an ego, from a bird's eye view. This is what I do. Man, I've been doing it for a long time, but what caused me to do it was I saw my mom, my sister, my ex-wife, as I mentioned, struggling with not only with their mental health, but with their health in general. And it was mainly with their minds. So when a woman tells me again, I'm exhausted, I hate how I look, I can't get myself to the gym, I can't get myself to train myself, I just want to get my energy back or have my spark back. What I actually hear when somebody tells me that, when a woman, man or woman, but mainly women, what I actually hear is that her orgasmic power is distorted. She doesn't have a flow. You're supposed to be this like sensual, feminine being. You can be jacked, you can be ripped and lean, you can hit the gym every day and still be a feminine woman. That's not, people make these things up like, you getting too fit or you too have too much muscle and you can't be a woman. That's look, man. Most men who do that too are insecure. Most women who do that are also insecure. But when I hear a woman say that, it just tells me that her chemistry is drifted and she's offline and she's back into incoherence. And she has these mistaken goals. She's looking at attention seeking from outside. These are all outside goals. You see, attention seeking from the outside. You are giving yourself the attention. You are giving yourself the element of control over your own decision making. You're casting revenge on any and everyone on the outside of you because you don't have control over yourself. This is the first start. So you can't just tell somebody love yourself more. You can't just tell a woman you need to love yourself more. That's not how it works. Okay, and there's a thing that I do believe this is by design. I believe society has this mechanism by design to destroy the woman from the inside out. That destroys the family dynamic from the inside out. And then now you lower the ceiling and now everybody becomes small. So if you want to attack a family dynamic, just go after the woman. Make the woman feel like she's incompetent, like she's inferior, like she's not good enough, like she's not pretty enough, like she's not smart enough, she's not well enough. And all of a sudden she'll go outside seeking something that she can never find on the outside. She has to do it to herself. And when she does that, all of a sudden there's every corner you'll see obstructions, caffeine, wine, processed food, trending diets, emotional armoring, where you'll see defensive women. It shuts down a woman's drive to get to the gym, to get to train himself. It just erodes her muscle. It numbs her internal perception. She can't feel herself no more. And all of a sudden, it pulls her into destructive relationships. This is the part that you need to understand as a woman. You will go towards destructive relationships. You will go towards places that shrink you because you've already done that to you. And now the field has to mirror how you're treating yourself. So then what happens is, and I'll start this off just from like a step-by-step process. The first thing that happens, orgasmic power, and this is how I'm gonna state this. Your orgasmic power, which is basically your power of surrendering to the moment so that you can receive pleasure. Exercise, vasopressin, which is a pretty strong hormone that controls magnetism inside your body. It basically makes you more attractive. You have to understand that orgasmic power it's kind of like a total coherence of voltage. You're an electrical being. Men and women both. You're an electrical being. So how strongly your fascia conducts signals, how strongly my mind can tell my index finger to move up and down. You see, whenever you start to get obstruction inside your brain, this signal starts to get slower and slower. You start to have a delay. start to have a delay in your reactivity, in your reaction time. How clearly your organs speak to your brain, how harmoniously your hormones fire, because you need to make sure that your hormones are firing. Like say, if you're overweight, you have leptin and ghrelin, okay? And so you have leptin, I believe it's leave it alone. So say you've already eaten enough leptin. You have ghrelin, which says I'm hungry. Leptin and ghrelin control your hunger, fullness cues. So women, if you're overweight, you have an imbalance in leptin and ghrelin, which is not telling you I'm full or I'm hungry. Something simple like that. That's hormones. That's why anyone has the issue, the struggle. I'm talking specifically in terms of women right now. You know, how honestly your emotions move through you. How do you let these things come through you? How aligned your chakras are with the universal laws behind it. Cause and effect. Everything is mind. The heart rhythm. Polarity. These are literally universal laws. You cause every effect in your life. What you say is what you're going to create. That's vibration, the law of vibration. Think about the law of mind, which is everything you live is what you believe. You know, these things are all on the basis of, they're coming from a lack of self-love. Self-love. When your body is asked to do hard things, women, when you're asked to sprint, to lift, to carry, to climb, you have children, you carrying the children all over the place, you lifting them all over the place. Several key systems wake up at once. When your body's asked to do these things, your posterior pituitary, talking about the crown chakra right now, releases vasopressin to stabilize blood pressure and fluid balance during effort. You need to have this hormone, vasopressin, stabilize you during an effort. Say you're pushing a sled, say you're sprinting on a treadmill, you know, doing a glute bridge, or you know, whatever it can be. That same molecule acts in your brain as a neuromodulator for arousal, focus, and sexual behavior. You need to have this. Think about this. Whenever you go to the gym with your partner, aren't you more attracted to your partner? And when you go to the gym with your partner, you train with your partner, you lifting weights, y'all, you know, doing fitness together, whatever you're doing, yoga class together, whatever it is, you're more attracted to your partner. And this is why. This is the issue. This is the reason why this hormone controls. It's controlling your magnetism between yourself and your significant other. The HPA axis, which is your hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. Hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis mobilizes your energy. Cortisol rises acutely, and then in a healthy system, it drops back down. You need to get it to drop back down as your stress is resolved. That's what, whenever you start doing work, start running for the first time, you'll feel the cortisol jump. And then when you start to get into a groove, it starts to go back down. Your heart rate starts to go back down. It starts to get steady. Everything's cool. Chronic stress without movement. So if you keep on stressing yourself out without moving, what's going to happen? Your cortisol stays elevated, and it basically blocks your capacity to respond to situations. You've just been in sympathetic. You have the ANS, which is autonomic nervous system. Parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. Sympathetic, which is fight or flight. You stay in fight or flight. This is what you do when you are not moving. Now you have what's called myokines that it's from working muscle. These talk back to your brain. They improve your mood, influence sensitivity, and even neurogenesis. Basically the creation of ideas and pathways inside of your brain. So in this way, intense movement is one of the cleanest ways to charge your system with coherent stress. That's eustress. There's distress and there's eustress. Eustress is good stress. That's exercise. That's essentially what makes people happy. It's like the happiest chemical that you can generate by yourself naturally. Exercise. Eustress. Then there's distress. That's the cortisol riser. The one that keeps you in chronic fight or flight. The one that's keeping you chronically inflamed. That's eating up all of your organs from the inside out. That's the one that you don't want. Okay? So now imagine you being a woman, and you never get to hit that edge. You sit all day at work. You barely load your fascia or your joints. Do you not know that you have to have muscle contraction in order to cleanse the lymphatic system? The lymph drains into the lymph. Interstitial fluid and blood is in the lymph that's below the neck. Above is going to be CSF, cerebral spinal fluid, plus interstitial fluid that needs to drain through here. It's going to come through the nasal. There's going to be lymph nodes that go all the way through. It's going to drain all the way down through here, attached, get into this bloodstream. You cannot sit down all day long and not move your body, because all that happens is you just continue to get eroded from the inside out. So now you wake up with coffee. You say, I need some energy. I'm tired. I get up in the morning. I gotta go serve. I have to go teach. I have to go, to the office. Whatever it is, and you drink some coffee instead of getting some sunlight or taking some deep breaths and doing some breath work. What's happening? Adenosine blockers. You're blocking adenosine receptors. Now you don't know how tired you are, how much energy you got. I'm just giving you the why as to why you don't do this, and I'm giving you the why as to see your patterns every single day. What you see, and then you'll be able to realize, yeah, I do this, and it does keep me from going to do these things for myself. So you're gonna unwind at nighttime with wine and a screen. You're gonna check your phone, doom scrolling the entire time, watching a Netflix show or documentary, whatever it is. But you're gonna be sitting there escaping instead of loading and unloading your tissues that need to be contracted and expanded so that it can pump the lymph. The lymph has to circulate through. And then finally, whenever the pathogens are actually excreted, they go out through your waste material. So the result is you now have a body that is stimulated and it's not challenged. What happens? Vasopressin, oxytocin, dopamine. These are the three, I call it the hormonal triad in my book, which is going to be out next month, Orgasmic Power, so you guys can be able to see how the philosophy works and works for you. What happens is this hormonal triad starts to misfire. Cortisol, melatonin, they're all still firing, but it's in chaotic, unintegrated way. So now you have this thing. Women say this, they talk about they feel wired and tired. Yeah, you're wired because caffeine is fake energy. You have so much fake energy and you're still tired because adenosine is gone. You don't know how much capacity you have to do anything. It's bad. So now you feel anxious. You're realizing that mineral deficiency is causing anxiousness. You feel soft, you feel uneasy. And so now exercise feels like what? It feels like punishment to go to the gym. So now you're gonna vilify going to the gym. Just moving yourself is vilified. And now it's punishment, it's not power. That's what I mean by it's obstructed orgasmic power. So let's break down mainly, as I brought it up just now, the second step, which is caffeine, wine, processed food. Let me tell you right now, I've seen someone with some bad fucking diets. I'm plant-based for the last 9 years. Thankfully, my ex-wife, she did convince me at the time, I was still pursuing being a professional basketball player. She did convince me to change my diet. Stop eating red meat, stop eating dairy products. I'm thankful because now I'm light years ahead of where I would be at 42 years old if I continue to eat the same way, drink the same things. Just I'm so happy, so grateful for it. But most women that I see, they don't understand that the food and the drink and the beverages are killing their body and also their urge to train themselves. Let's break down the chemistry right now in plain language, okay? What does caffeine do? Again, adenosine hijack and magnesium drain. Listen to what I'm telling you about magnesium. You need to have magnesium. You need to have magnesium, you need to have adenosine. Caffeine works because it blocks adenosine receptors in the brain, and adenosine is the molecule that accumulates as your cells burn ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate. That's the energy that you use, that you express out to do things. So it's the body's slow down, time to rest. That signal that says, slow down, it's time for you to relax. When caffeine sits in those receptor seats, it blocks the adenosine from telling you it's tired. So the brain thinks it's less tired than it really is. You really have an empty gas tank, but you just can't read it because you don't have the molecule that reads it in place inside the brain, because you basically corrupted it with caffeine. Now you're gonna be up all night. And please don't drink caffeine after 5 o'clock. You'd be up till the next day. Heart rate never slows down. You never get into REM sleep. Never get into delta. It's crazy. So now in the short term, you can feel great. You can accomplish your goal if you need to, stay up for a project, whatever you need to do. But long term, you're gonna be fucked up, especially in women. So the true sleep pressure that still builds in the background, but the signal is being ignored. So when bedtime comes and you're wired, what are you doing? Sitting up, playing with your hair, you're scrolling, you're sipping wine, you're trying to fall asleep. You're going out with your girls or whatever on Friday night. Y'all sipping some beverages. Y'all may be looking out at the city skyline or whatever. But it's fucking 11 o'clock. You're gonna be getting cravings to eat food. You shouldn't be eating nothing. You're taking your ass to sleep. I ain't saying you can't go out at nighttime. I'm saying, but you need to turn off the system so that you can now be able to relax when you get home, to recharge and regenerate. So caffeine increases urinary loss of magnesium and other minerals. So basically, magnesium is a critical cofactor for ATP production and also muscle relaxation. It's getting you to go from here to here, backwards, not from here to here. You want to go from fight or flight to rest and digest. You need some magnesium. Also, what's low magnesium do? You have tight fascia, restless sleep, you have anxiety, you have PMS, you have poor exercise recovery. That's what low magnesium does to the body. So now, if caffeine is taken late in the day, it stops circadian timing and reduces deep sleep, which is exactly when growth hormone surges. Tissue repairs, memories consolidate, and this is sleep research now. In the it repeatedly shows that the misaligned or fragmented sleep impairs your mood, so that you can have a shitty attitude, impairs cognition and emotional regulation. This is just by you consuming caffeine, wine, processed food. So on paper, you can say, if somebody comes to you, your spouse, your partner, they come to you and say, honey, how are you doing? And you say, I'm doing fine. Everything is good. Oh, you lying your ass up. You lying through your teeth. You lying. Because essentially you're awake, but you're tired. You're exhausted. You can't even really move yourself. You are literally exhausted. So your nerves are fried. Your dashboard is supposed to be telling you your blood pressure is low or it's too high, your blood sugar is too low, too high, or whatever it is. Your temperature, your body temperature is you don't know nothing. And so now you're experiencing exercise is overwhelming, not invigorating. This is the issue with wine and alcohol. I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank in a long time. It's been a long time, and I'm never going to go back to it because I know what the issues are. I know what it does to my energy field. Wine's become like a socially acceptable sedative for burned out women. You go out into any prosperous place, you'll see a group of them, like a band of them, just drinking. And it's crazy. That's like, y'all call it self-care. That's not self-care. Put a glass down. That shit ain't self-care. There's no amount of alcohol that's healthy for you. And we just go ahead and throw it out there. You can check the research. No amount of alcohol is conducive to a healthy lifestyle. None. 0%. There is no amount. 0% is the healthiest that you can have. So what it does, in case you didn't know, what does alcohol do? Alcohol fragments your sleep architecture. Essentially, it causes you to have less deep sleep, more awakenings. So you're just going to be breaking. You're never going to get into beta, which is right now, alpha, a step lower, theta, a step lower, delta, a step lower. Delta is basically whenever you're an infant, 0 to 2 years of age. You're in delta. That's why you sleep so much, because you're growing. You're growing things. You're growing inside of you. Theta, one step above, say about 2 to 4 years of age in theta. It's like, I would say like imaginative, about to fall asleep. Alpha, it's like daydreaming. This is ages 4 to 6, about ages 4 to 6. And this is what, yeah, you call a daydream. You're just sitting there, you fall, you're still daydreaming. And then you have beta, which is you talking to me right now. We're in beta right now. And this is 7 on up. What's happening is your brain's being programmed subconsciously the entire time with habits. You're watching people, downloading how people move, how people talk, people around you, your culture, the music around you, the vibration around you, the things around you, what people say. You begin to repeat those things. And so now, what's alcohol doing to your liver? Stresses your liver. You don't know angry people have a terrible liver? Because why? Liver is the detoxifier of your blood. If you overwhelm your liver, you can't detoxify the blood. And so then it alters your estrogen metabolism. Estrogen is important. It's really important, especially for women. It's important for men too, but it's really, really important for women. Because then if you don't have this simple hormone inside your body that's able to regulate everything else in terms of a structure, think about why when men have low testosterone, they're not very manly. When women have low estrogen, they're not very womanly. Okay, and so then you're further draining your magnesium and your B vitamins that needed for mood and muscle repair. So now your brain's starting to learn pattern recognition. This is what I talked about yesterday, talking about how trauma gets stored in your body as ideas. Your brain, we're talking about patterning right now. So you have behavioral reinforcement. Remember I said diet, movement, speech, intimacy. You're now gonna say, I had a hard day, gotta get some wine, temporary relief. That's how your structure starts to happen. That's gonna be your new dopamine loop, which is crazy. Because now it's a habit of avoidance and escape, not confrontation of life. You're avoiding the tasks that you need to go to, mainly the gym, getting your body right. So in this way, what goals are you actually mistaking? I would say number 5, which is basically, I don't care. It's gonna say avoidance, saying I don't care. So now all of a sudden you're saying I don't care, and then you're saying escape, I'm disappearing. If not, I can handle my own life. But you can't handle your life. You're not strong enough. You don't have the capacity because you ain't been to the gym. I'm telling you, this is all gonna go away once you realize I can just go to the gym. Okay? Processed food. What does processed food do? And look, there's studies everywhere now, thankfully, that are telling you that ultra-processed foods, trending diets, which is like low nutrient smoothies and extreme fasting, and look, you gotta replace the minerals. You're made of minerals. Your behavior consists of 2 main things. Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about this. Your behavior is equal to your proteins, which are the raw materials, the building blocks in which make you, your amino acid structures, that's proteins. Your body's made of proteins, plus the signal. Signals can be medications, pharmaceuticals, it can be alcohol, it can be anything that's altering your brain chemistry. When you add those things together, all of a sudden you have behavior. That's why I'm telling you now, you can look at the correlations between these pharmaceuticals and all these types of things and just unhealthy diet lifestyles. What these do is they create patterns. They create low magnesium, low potassium, low trace minerals. They create high sugar, refined starch, spiking insulin. They create little fiber because you need fiber to support gut microbiome. And it regulates your mood. You see, your food does have an impact on your mood. Your food does control, in a way, your mood. It's called the enteric nervous system. Central is up here. Enteric is down here. But you have a connection through the vagus nerve. You have a connection. You have a heart-brain connection, a gut-brain connection, genital-brain connection. You have connections with everything. All 12 systems of the human body are inside your solar plexus, and they all connect up here, 12 cranial nerves up here. So you're always connected, and each one of those 12 cranial nerves needs a certain specific amount of minerals that powers that structure. So let's keep going. What happens is the brain's experience like constant micro stress because you have swings in your blood sugar, okay, your cravings, your irritability, your brain fog, if you've had painful periods, if you've had painful menstrual cycles, essentially, if you have just pain abruptly in your system. Brain fog is basically a crowded lymphatic system inside your brain. It's too much going on up here, you ain't cleaned it out. And you can only clean it out by sleep. You can only clean out the brain by sleeping. You need to go to sleep. Okay? So your muscles aren't getting the building blocks to stay full, to stay round, to stay strong. And when a woman looks in the mirror, all of a sudden, she sees a body she doesn't recognize because she's been avoiding treating it the way it's supposed to be treated. It's going to hit you. Ask yourself, have you been giving yourself the attention that you need to be fulfilled, to feel good? It's not a trend for you to be in shape. It's a necessity for you to be in shape. For you to be attracted to yourself. It's a necessity. You have to get this done. This isn't optional. You see out there, and people think it's optional. It's not optional. It's not optional. Because you are in control of the maintenance of your own temple, of your own mansion, which is your body and your mind. So, now you get these inadequacies. Why bother? I'm already fat. I'm already ugly. I'm already tired. Nothing's going to work for me. Start talking with that victim helplessness type of language. And then you also start to say this, which is also foolishness. I'm just going to enjoy my life. I only live once. So I'm going to take the drink. I'm going to go eat the cake. Man, if you don't get that shit out your mind, that's not enjoying life. You start to say, I don't care about how I look. That's the worst thing that you can do because this inner world is a reflective of your outer world. You should be beautiful. You should be sparkling, radiant. Because that means that your inner world is beautiful, sparkling, and radiant. That's what that means. You should care about how you look. You shouldn't just distance yourself from it. And so the last thing I heard many women say, people should accept me as I am. I'm looking at it, I'm like, you don't accept you as you are. So you can't tell somebody on the outside to accept you as you are. That ain't how it works. Just give it your best and then see. When you give it your best, you accept you, everybody's going to accept you. That's a guarantee. But diet and lifestyle are not neutral. They are the source of these mistaken goals looking on the outside. Okay, so let's keep going. Because there's two specific ones I really want to get into. Next one, at number 3, is anger, fear, and the decision to quit on your body. Anger. Anger and fear, probably the two most catastrophic emotions that anybody can experience, men or women alike. Anger or fear. And they're the root poisons behind almost every problem behavior. Anger and fear. When you make choices from anger, they're bad choices. I don't give a fuck what you think. On the back end, it's going to be a bad decision. If you don't calm yourself before you make that choice, if you don't calm your mind before you make that choice, it's going to be wrong. It's wrong already because you're incoherent. Fear is just setting a cap. You're not letting the universe work on your behalf. You're saying that you know more than the universe knows. No, you don't. We ain't that smart. The field is literally the sole governing agency of the particle. That's what Einstein says. Think about this. If you're saying the subconscious mind is not under anything. It's surrounding you. So if it's surrounding you, that means that you're connected to it all the time. Therefore, it knows the answer before you know the answer. You can't control or micromanage every situation. That's not how it works. So when you have anger and fear, when these emotions are on top of your decision making, I'll tell you what you're going to choose. You'll choose caffeine, poor sleep, processed food. Because what that does is it's now creating anxiety and irritability. If you're going to the gym before, and even women that do get to the gym, but you're going to the gym based on energy drinks and protein shakes and all this trash that you've been taking that's not natural, organic energy, you're going to be irritable. Watch. You're going to be defensive as hell. And then chronic stress, HPA axis, hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. Cortisol staying elevated, you're stuck in fight or flight mode. It's interfering with sex hormones, muscle repair, fat distribution. So now you have belly fat that's going to be stuck right here. You're going to have this little pouch right here. Men too, you're going to have this little pouch right here. Okay, you're going to have less glute, less leg tone. You know why? You're stuck like this. Walking like this, it turns out. Straight. There's no bent legs. It's supposed to be bent. Bent. Like this is different when you're walking. Quad activation, glute activation. You're walking like this, stiff. That's it. Like a soldier marching. That's it. Stiff. What happens to your system? Your nervous system becomes hypervigilant and under-resilient. So now life feels like you're in a constant threat and a constant battle. And now again, the gym feels like what? One more attack, not a sanctuary. The gym is a sanctuary. The gym is like a growth lab. If you have a plan, when you have a plan, don't just go into the gym, you don't have no fucking plan. You see, you'll hurt yourself. But you go into that place with a plan and a system, you'll be wildly successful. But the anger that you are expressing, women, that's what I'm saying. It hinders every relationship because now it turns inward. You have the anger, and I remember talking to my ex-wife about this. She used to go into the mirror and she would just start shouting ridiculously awful things about how she hates herself, or she hates her body, she hates her mind. And I remember I caught her doing this one time. And I just stood behind her and I basically made her write her own affirmations on her. Now she doesn't now. She writes her own affirmations on her bathroom mirror, thankfully. But I told her, I said, don't ever repeat those things to yourself ever. Don't ever do that. You're supposed to be your number one fan, not your number one critic, not your number one hater. What's wrong with you? You walk out the front door into a world full of haters that hate themselves. Why would you want to be your hater at home? That's crazy. So now you start to speak. I'll never be consistent. I'll never make it in. I hate my body. What's the point of trying? That's the angry you talking to yourself. Or shit, you'll go to the fear. So you'll go to extreme anger or extreme fear. You'll say, if I really go for it and I still don't get it, I'm just gonna prove to myself that I suck or that I'm weak. You're basically speaking your words to a self-fulfilling prophecy of weakness. And then you'll say, if I become powerful and I become attractive and I look great, people are gonna leave me or they're gonna attack me. Look, just trying to find an excuse to not do what you're supposed to do. You try, you're reaching. Under those conditions, it's not training. Not training isn't even laziness now. It just becomes like this painful strategy of avoidance. You're attempting to talk yourself out of it for reasons. Avoidance of shame, revenge against the world. You mad at the world or you mad at somebody. Maybe you mad at the spouse. So in order for your spouse to not be attracted to you, you just let yourself go. It's craziness, man. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Why don't people just think about that? It's like you start to talk yourself out of being your best because you say, I don't owe anybody my best. You don't owe anybody your best. You owe yourself your best. You owe it to you to be your best. You don't owe it to nobody else. Don't think that you got to go run to the outside to get attention from anything else, confirmation from anybody else. But you do owe it to yourself, 100%. 100%. And so now you start to reclaim your power. No one can tell me how to eat. I'm not eating this. I'm going to eat my burger or my fast food. I can do what I want. Okay, keep saying that you can do what you want. Keep popping bottles and telling yourself that you're invincible. You're going to have a tipping point one time. They're all stories that you're creating. They're narratives constructed to serve an unconscious goal. So when you're naming an obstruction of basically of your orgasmic power, it's what you're doing is you're naming obstructions to the point where the stories that you're narrating become more compelling than your body's called to move yourself. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, so now let's move to number 4. This one's gonna be powerful. Inferiority complexes, superiority complexes. And this is why women stop wanting to be strong and sexy. Okay? You have two sides, inferiority complex, superiority complex. They're like emotional engines. They're like emotional structures that push these mistaken goals of attention, revenge, control, etc. What happens is inferiority says, I'll never be enough. So why do I try? That's what inferiority complex means. That means that you have a complex patterning of thinking inside your brain that's saying, I'll never be enough. So why would I try? For many women, especially high-performing women, CEOs, C-level executives, millionaire women, entrepreneur women, high-performance athlete women, okay, you have this dialogue too that you're trying to, again, self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm not athletic. Look at the women online and the OnlyFans women. I never look like that. My body's ruined because I had kids, because of stress, because of age. You just start finding excuses to not show up. You just start talking yourself into every possibility as to why. Now trust me, I understand why you would do that. I understand that you looked in the mirror, you just had twins, and your body has been expanded and you have it changed because of childbirth. I completely understand that. Of course, men, you need to understand that. But you need to be encouraging and stay with them and say, don't worry about that, honey. It's going to go right back down just to how you once were. You're going to be even stronger. So you have to find a person, women, that's encouraging, that is a number 2 fan to you being a number 1 fan. This is why relationships are so important. Don't go find no man that's going to talk crazy to you and all that shit, and not understand that you just provided them a gift. That's your fault, too. That's your fault. Don't be shallow. You know if you have a man or if you have a boy, you understand the difference. If you don't understand the difference, there's a book, I think her name is Alison Armstrong. It's called The Queen's Code. I have a chapter in my book, Orgasmic Power, about how women can basically become a queen, speak life into their partnerships and relationships. But one of the chapters inside that book she talks about is also self-care, women's responsibility on their self-care. So underneath years of comparison, man, social media got y'all comparing y'allself, going to the Instagrams, looking at these people pictures and shit. This ain't real. They don't even look like that. They don't even really be like that. Filters are the most fake pieces of crap I've ever seen. Filters. What does it really look like? What do you really look like? Who are you really? I don't think most men like plastic surgery women or BBL women. I want to see you go to the gym and bridge your way to a shelf, to a glute shelf. Deadlift your way to it, squat your way to it. Don't go get no damn surgery. What kind of shit is that? No, you'll have criticism, betrayal. You'll have your parents, your partners, your coaches, even social media telling you. So now your body is not even yours no more. It's like a scoreboard of all these past wins or losses, and most of them gonna be losses if you're listening to people like that. So in this state of mind, women, what happens to y'all? Your root, your sacral, your first 2 centers of energy, your genitals, your digestive system with your intestines, this is gonna start to feel heavy, start to feel numb. All the energy starts to feel stored down here and never gets to move up. Interoception. You can't not feel how you're supposed to feel. You don't notice subtle hunger, fullness, desire to move, sexual arousal until it's extreme. It has to be extreme. It has to be like pornography, or it has to be like binge eating or eating disorder. So it has to be something that's all left or right scales. And this is what happens when somebody is unable to read themselves. Then you start to have this caffeine usage. I'm telling y'all about caffeine. This is like the next wave of like recreational drug. It's crazy, like how powerful caffeine is, and how people don't understand that matcha and all these things that you think are cool until you overdo it so much that you can't go to bed. It's not good. It's overriding your body's signals. Drinking this glass of wine, it's overriding your body's signals. Still listening to them. It's not good. So then, the result again, inactivity, muscle loss, and you think that that's acceptance. You look at these supermodels on Victoria's Secrets or something like that. You're like, oh, they're so thin. Some of them are fit. Some of them are thin in an unhealthy way because they were told that they needed to be that way. Crazy, right? This is crazy. But then on the flip side, you have superiority. That was inferiority. Now you have superiority. I'm above my body. I'm bigger. And now you start to wear this spiritual or intellectual superiority. I'm all about the inner work. You like the little yoga, flower person. You all about the mobility, all this stuff, moving your body, everything, and all. It's all about the flow. And so now it's all superficial. You don't want to go in there to do no real fitness and pick up no heavy weight. Look, you can't downward dog and carry your child up the stairs, ma'am. You need to go get some squats in so you can carry them grocery bags in. And now I feel like you got to go get some help all the damn time. You can't sit there and start to complain, I don't have time to obsess about my body because I'm a CEO, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm doing important things. Okay, do some important things to get some damn squats up in the gym so you can get that lymph cleansed out. And get that lymph cleansed out. That's an important thing for you to feel good. See, so it's less common in an upper tier woman because most upper tier women, in terms of high performance, in terms of entrepreneurial shit, they do take care of themselves. They know they have to, or they'll jack themselves up with their business up too. But that's not all of them. Still, it still shows up, especially in spiritual, entrepreneurial circles. It does. So it's always going to be the same fear. If I become physically powerful and radiant, I will envy, and I will attract attack from people or abandonment from people. You thinking that you being your best self and looking like an Amazon, looking like a goddess, is going to bring harm to you because now you're going to stand out amongst the rest. It happens. Men too. It happens to men too. We get it too. Some of the most prosperous, successful, financially men are fat as fuck. Bill Gates looks like shit. Look at Elon. His belly's all the way out to over his pants. A lot of these billionaires don't look very good. Shit. That's on them. It doesn't mean that you can't be prosperous and successful. You can still be prosperous and successful. So you're keeping yourself a little bit smaller, a little bit softer, a little bit less intense. And now you're resisting heavy lifting, real sprinting, something that might make you take up more space. You're only going to yoga class. You're only going on walks to get 10,000 steps with podcasts and everything. You're never hitting the threshold that changes the nervous system and your actual hormones. That's superiority here is simply inferiority wearing a crown. A strategy to avoid the vulnerability of full embodiment, of actually going hard in the gym, actually putting forth the effort, actually getting what's supposed to get, getting the actual work done. You see what I'm saying? This is where it has to make sense to you. Has to make sense to you. No, we're not. No, I'm not done yet. What time is it? 5:38. 20 more minutes. 20 more minutes. Good. Come on. Honest. 20 more minutes. Come on. Out. 20 more minutes. Go. Not done. Out. Okay. So let's see. Let's keep going. So you now have your interoceptive separation to entanglement with destructive people. You need to understand something. There is this concept, and what is the concept? The concept I'm talking about is it's going to be called constructive interference, good vibes. Destructive interference, bad vibes. You have bad vibes. Disruptive interference. These people around you that are literally vibrating so low, okay? They are vibrating so low that they are causing you entanglement in a bad way. They're causing you entanglement in a harsh way. They're basically bringing down your psyche. They're bringing down they're not elevating you to push you further towards success. Interoception is the brain sensing of internal signals like your heartbeat, your breath, gut tension, temperature. That's what I'm speaking of. Your dashboard. It's telling you I need water, I'm thirsty, this person makes me feel safe, unsafe. It's telling you these things. I'm tired, or I'm just emotionally drained. I want to move. I want to lift. I want to sweat. I need to move. You ever seen your dogs come out and they want to zoom me? They just come out and just start sprinting. When they need to go, they just get up and go. Same thing with people. They'll be the same thing. So when you have accurate dashboard reading, it's just, you know what you have. You know where you stand. It's like checking your bank account, checking your actual bank account. You're checking your energetic bank account in this regard. You have better emotional regulation, decision-making, sense of self. But when you're dysregulated interoception, you have anxiety, depression, and various, I would say mental disruptions and disturbances because you're causing that. All because you just didn't do the work. You didn't do the inner work behind it. So now, when your body's in the state that I've described, you sleep again, fragmented, caffeine, alcohol, guts inflamed by processed food. I'm telling you, seed oils, sunflower oil, canola oil, and it's pretty much in everything. Safflower oil, they're in many, not everything, but the majority of processed cheap food. I would say that. It's in that. You go to In-N-Out Burger, those burgers got about 55 plus ingredients inside of them. It's not chicken. Chicken has multiple ingredients inside of it. There's not enough chickens in the world to be able to satisfy all these fast food restaurants. You must be crazy. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you, in case you didn't know, now you know. That's why I left it alone. And to this day, I encourage everybody to leave it alone. Because then, when you have these women in a relationship, now we're going to get to why this occurs in a relationship. When you're emotional, physiological synchrony, this is a study, this is researched. You have what's called emotional synchronization. You synchronize your emotions with your partner. We can catch each other's incoherence. When you're chaotic and incoherent, I can catch it. What do you think domestic disputes are, arguments are? When somebody's fighting, when somebody's hitting, stressing, going over the top, reaching. That's bad, man. Your anger can cause somebody else to be sick. So these studies show that couples' brains, cortisol rhythms, autonomic responses, they tend to synchronize, especially around negative emotions like sadness and anger. That's why these partners who don't take care of themselves are destructive interference. They're going to lower you down. So as a man, I'm just going to give you a disclaimer. If you see a woman that's easily disturbed emotionally, I would avoid that woman until she gets herself emotionally stable, where she can control her reactions and she can raise her capacity to be able to handle more. Because if she doesn't have the capacity, she's going to project it onto you, and then you will diminish your energetic field. And it's studied research. There's literally research they call it when they split photons, and they understand now that when you have sex for a temporary time, you've exchanged these photonic emissions. So now you become your partner, she becomes you. So for whatever duration of time that they're going through this process, or say you're going through cleansing, you should always cleanse together. You should always do it together. You don't want to do it where one person's cleansing and the other person's not, because one person's raising their capacity the other person's staying the same. You're going to stretch yourself so far away that the band might break and snap. You need to be able to stretch it and then meet it. Stretch it, meet it, stretch it, meet it. That's how you need to do it. And then this comes from true on experience. I started the process of detoxification myself first, and my partner didn't want to do it. You know, I eventually got her to do it, but the time that she did not want to do it, it was just causing a huge disruption because energetically we weren't aligned. Visions weren't aligned, nothing was aligned. So you're gonna choose partners whose bodies and habits match your internal chaos. Women. That means late nights, screens, stimulants, sedentary lifestyles. People who sit around do nothing. People who, you know, stay up on the screen, stay up late. You're gonna normalize mutual burnout, mutual drinking, mutual avoidance of intensity. You're normalizing these things that are disrupting you from growth. You're interpreting anxiety as chemistry, and your calm as boredom. But calm's not boredom. Calm is coherence. Anxiety, that's not, that ain't what you want. Okay, so this is the how. This is the how you're gonna fix this. First thing that you're gonna do, women, in order for you to get back into a healthy lifestyle, to get back into a fit lifestyle, get back into the gym, you need to remove the noise that's jamming interoception. I want you to write down a plan out. You can write this plan down. So take out a pen and pad, whatever you need. You got the next 60 to 90 days. No caffeine, no alcohol, no ultra-processed food. That essentially means no fast foods. Don't go to no, burger joint, to no something like ultra-processed that you don't even know what the ingredients are. You ain't gonna do that. There's also an app, a seed oils app that you can download on your iPhone. And it tells you what places or spaces or restaurants that do not use seed oils inside of their food. I would encourage you guys to look. I'm not sure what the name exactly is, but just look up seed oil app. You can Google it, and I'm sure something will come up and it will tell you, but it's a really, really good app. You can get like a yearly subscription, like $25. And it just tells you all these places and restaurants in your area that you can go to that do not have seed oils. It's really, really cool. It's a really, really cool thing. So the next 60 to 90 days, no caffeine, no alcohol, no ultra-processed food. Next, switch to mineral-rich, negative ORP water and magnesium-dense plant foods. Avocados are pretty magnesium-dense fruit. Well, it's a fruit. But there's plenty of, kale, dark leafy green, chlorophyll filled, and mineral-rich native ORP water. Look up freshpure.com. Freshpure.com. They have negative 219 ORP water, which means oxidation reduction potential. This is the water that instantly gets to your body to rehydrate you. Kangen water machines that cost about $3,000. They usually get about negative 639 ORP, which is really, really high. And it's basically taking away the oxidation reactions inside of your body. So you can get this water, freshpure.com. Go get yourself a 5-gallon jug or container. Go to Walmart, $13, $14. Just go purchase one, and you can go in there to go fill up. It's always self-service now. They don't bring it, they don't drop it off at your house. You gotta go get it yourself. It's just really high quality. And when you go get it yourself, drink as much as you, and I would encourage you to not get to, I would say 64 ounces a day is a great start for you. Especially if you're moving and you're doing things, 64 ounces is good. So what is it gonna do? This alone reduces anxiety. It improves your sleep architecture, how you're gonna draw this up like a blueprint for you to get to bed. And it begins to restore your body's awareness. Next, realign your circadian rhythm. Morning light, 30 to 60 minutes within you waking up. Consistent wake and sleep time. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. I got my 2 dogs, and I love my dogs because they come get me at, 7, in between 7:30 and 8 o'clock every morning. They pretty much come get me. and I'm up, feed them, take them out, everything. I got a schedule with them, and they help me. I don't use an alarm. And so you want to get up morning light, 30 to 60 minutes, and ground yourself. Digital sunset, 60 to 90 minutes before bed. I take them out most times when it's getting, it's going to the evening time. So same thing. I just make it a point to schedule them in so we get our time and I get my energy. And it stabilizes cortisol, melatonin, and dopamine cycles. So every exercise that you do feels possible again because you need to be able to balance yourself, circadian rhythms. This is important. It's called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. You need to get this thing, this clock, regulated so that now you have control over yourself. Third, reintroduce intensity slowly but non-negotiably. That means 2 to 4 strength through length training sessions per week, even if they're only 20, 30 minutes. At first, you're just focusing on reintroducing it, progression toward heavier weight, meaning heavier loading. So sprints, power work, as your nervous system steadies. Don't attempt to go squat 225 in the gym, 2 plates on each side, 245 plates on each side, and you ain't been to the gym in 2 years. Meant to. Don't do no dumb shit like that. Because your ego trying to let you ego live. Your ego don't know shit about what you've been doing this entire time. It just tells you, oh yeah, I'm still fit. No, you're not. You ain't been doing what you're supposed to do. So you're gonna reintroduce everything slowly and walk yourself back into it so that you can get comfortable again. Yes, it's like riding a bike. If you ain't rode a bike in a long time, you're gonna feel some type of way about riding a damn bike. Okay? So this rewires your association, your intensity, goes to your aliveness, your pride. It's not punishment no more. That's how you're gonna do it. 2 to 4 strength length sessions per week. It's not hard. Simple split squats, some deadlifts, some shoulder press, some assisted pull-ups will get you a band, assisted pull-ups, you just keep it simple, walking lunges, simple things. I have a video on my YouTube channel where I show a simple landmine workout that you guys can do. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Go on Tuesday and Thursday and go walking or go running or go hiking. Something simple like that. And watch yourself, just keep doing it over and over again. Watch yourself getting tip-top. Watch yourself start to see yourself progressing in such a great way. Number 4, rewrite your internal story while your chemistry is shifting. Don't wait till you get fit to tell yourself who you are. You need to constantly affirm while you're going through this process. Conscious language, all right? Catch whenever you start saying, I can't do something. Because that's the only way in the universe is you can't do something, all right? Start to look at yourself and say, I am that type of woman that gets this done. I am the type of woman that can do any and everything. I'm not too tired. I am energized enough to take care of myself. Replace them with precise, sovereign, freedom, buildings type of statements. Precise. Okay, stop generalizing things. I'm always, that's generalizing. I'm type of statements. Precise. Okay, stop generalizing things. I'm always, that's generalizing. I'm now, okay. You're gonna curate your entanglements. I'm almost done. So you're gonna curate your entanglements, meaning you're gonna pick better people that don't drain you, people who charge you. That's an easy one to do. And lastly, let your muscle become a spiritual practice. That's training your body is no longer about vanity, it just becomes proof. You're not helpless, generates voltage on command. The sense of physical power spills into your sexual confidence, relational boundaries, business choices, creative risk. That's essentially how you're going to get yourself back into the gym. And all I'm telling you is, you start to remember how you feel, and you're strong and powerful. Start to remember it. And it's a great thing for you to do. So if you guys are interested again, I have a Become More Alkalign challenge coming up at the end of March. I'll probably just let the room stay at 50. I'm thinking 50 people is enough. 50 people are enough. It's gonna be a flat fee, $299 for you to come into the room. You have 2 hours a day where you're getting taught what to do, as far as changing your lifestyle, what you need to do as far as herbs, formulas, how to reprogram yourself in terms of prompts that you got to give yourself in terms of I ams and affirmations that you can say daily. Also, fitness plans, food preparation, everything that you're going to learn that's going to get you back online. I'm teaching the last week of March. So stop on my website. You guys can check out. I'm revamping everything on my website right now too, as far as offers, everything that's going through. But you will be able to see this Orgasmic Power manuscript coming out next month as well. So until then, I'm just gonna keep going live, just teaching you guys about some high-level thinking, some things that you guys are gonna learn to raise your consciousness, make you a better person overall. Man. And so if anybody came into the room today to rock in with me, thank y'all for tapping in, and I'll probably get back out tomorrow afternoon. See y'all later. I'm gonna walk Onyx, man. I gotta get my dollars out. So love y'all. Peace.